Hey folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. I had a subscriber requested rant. This will be a quick one. I don't want to blow off my loyal subscribers here on One Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan YouTube channel. Those of you that are in the foreign object. So basically, my gentleman subscriber friend has asked me to comment on some online ballyhoo. Apparently, CM Punk has found himself in some online gossip. I don't know if this is how much this really is going to contribute to anything, but apparently, Braun Breaker and Cora Jade, a couple of NXT top talents, have taken each other out of their profile pics and their online pics. That basically the pictures that they have of each other they are eliminating from their social media, probably Instagram pages, and so that is leading people to somehow blame CM Punk because apparently he's been doing those things where he poses with his arm around the top NXT women talent, probably in a very, I would hope, and I would probably suspect an innocent type of way. I mean, I can't speak for CM Punk. I've met the guy twice, but that's been a long time ago, and it was before he even met his wife, the beautiful AJ Lee. I tend to suspect that CM Punk is quite happy with his current bride, but hey, look, they're wrestlers, okay? And we basically know that these wrestlers, their loyalties to each other are not strong at times. So I don't really think it's CM Punk's fault if Braun Breaker and Cora Jade are having troubles or if they've broken up. It's really their issue. I would suspect, that being in the wrestling industry with the amount of women wrestlers that are in it now, that Braun Breaker is going to have no problem finding himself another girl pretty soon. Um, and I'd say Cora Jade, especially, very cute, very attractive, very athletic, very talented woman wrestler. And with all the wrestlers that she's working with on a daily basis at NXT, whether it's in the I was going to say the power plant, but the Orlando Full Sail Training Compound, the Performance Center, or whether they're doing the house shows that I go to, I don't think she'll have trouble finding love. And I think the reality is, folks, you got to remember these are people in their early to mid 20s. They're kind of not that far out of high school. And, people can kind of, trade partners pretty quickly at that time of life. And especially people that are athletic and they're good looking and attractive, and they probably are going to pass partners around, like people sharing HIV needles, hypodermic needles, like drug users. So I'm just trying to make some analogy. I'm pretty tired, by the way, so this rant may not be the best. Rumors AJ Lee returning for the Rumble. Now people think that's the true cause of Cora Jade. She's afraid of losing him to Cora. I think that's just online gossip, buddy. I mean, who knows? I mean, there could be something to it. Like I said, they are wrestlers. Professional wrestlers are basically like children in a lot of ways, or like teenagers, I should say. Maybe not like children, but like teenagers. They're kind of stunted in their mentality. They're not the most mature people, the wrestlers I'm talking about. So I don't know. I mean, I guess to be honest with you, I don't care that much. I find it's interesting. But the celebrity gossip stuff, I think the Bellas kind of brought that when they were doing their show, the Total Bellas, the Total Divas shows. I think the Bellas really brought that Kardashian type of influence into the WWE, at least, where the fans are more concerned or hyped up about the love lives of the women wrestlers or the wrestlers in general. I don't really remember that being a thing before the Bellas, but not to put the whole finger on them, but why not? I just did. I mean, they actually did kind of make their love lives with, Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson and John Cena. They made that the focus of their show, and I think ever since that show aired, which I think was, I want to say 2012, 13, 14, 15, ever since the Total Divas and the Total Bellas shows, the fans do have this thirst to kind of know about the private lives of the wrestlers, and that the wrestlers feed into it. They feed into it with their Instagram posts. I mean, going back another 10 or 15 years, there was that thing where Melina, I mean, this is going way back to maybe 2008, 2009. Melina posted some type of image of, I believe it was Cialis or Viagra that one of her boyfriends was using at the time, a wrestler. So, I mean, the wrestlers are not shy about sharing their personal lives, and the fans are not shy about being interested. And to me, I mean, there's other things going on, of course, the whole Chris Jericho controversy from last week. I don't know if that's been blown over, but people are still talking about it. What can you say here, buddy? Mikey, can you bring this up? Jimmy of the New Day has the group run their course. Oh, bring this up to Jimmy Faluca, you're saying. New Day, has the group run their course? I know kids, but do kids really care? Cena was their go-to guy. He's gone, and Big E's been out of the woods and in and out with injuries. I think it's a shame. I mean, we haven't seen Big E. I kind of had a bad feeling about that. I mean, he's been out for what, over a year? I mean, I want to say it was November of 2022, or was it even longer? Was it before that? When did Big E get his injury, AJ? Do you remember? But he got that suplex not too long after he had his title run. Let's see. Hey, Chungus, haven't heard from you in a while, buddy. Them fake knockers Cora had installed look totally artificial. Girl went overboard with the enhancements. They're nice, but they don't match your petite frame. Shaking your head. Yeah, buddy, I appreciate that. And look, I've had the good fortune of going to some of these NXT shows. I mean, I guess not Cora Jade, but who's the prodigy? The other Roxanne Perez. I mean, she's actually my favorite of the current NXT crop. I think if you see this young lady in person, she's got such a nice smile. Hopefully, I don't know if she's had any adjustments done, so to speak, with her body. I'm talking about Roxanne Perez now. I hope she doesn't because I think she looks fantastic the way that she is. And I think she's a great baby face that has a lot of Bailey-esque, young Bailey in NXT potential. So, I mean, for me, I mean, I've seen who's the other one, the blonde, Tiffany Stratton. Seen her in person a bunch of times at these NXT shows. Very attractive, of course. All these women look great. I just went to in October. I went to an NXT house show where they had this trick or treat battle royal thing, which was pretty nuts. And all the ladies were dressed up in different Halloween outfits. It was interesting because it was kind of an embarrassment and kind of like a fun match at the same time. Embarrassing to the sport of wrestling, but in some type of fetishy way, it was fun to watch. Roxanne is gorgeous. She went by ROKC in Booker T's promotion. Okay, she's friggin' lovely, bro. Yeah, if you look on here, Chungus, please, on One Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan YouTube channel, look under the shorts. You'd have to dig around, but I have some really good still photography of Roxanne Perez. If you just, I have a really great picture of her that she's unbelievably cute. She's smiling, and I can tell you that in person, she seems very sincere. I'm talking about Roxanne Perez once again. Like when she's signing autographs for the fans, and no, I have not asked for her autograph, but when she's signing autographs for the fans, she looks like she really is into it. Like she really likes being there. And I think that in this day and age, when the WWE especially is hiring all these college athletes that may or may not even care about professional wrestling, they might just be doing it for the paycheck. Someone like Roxanne Perez, who actually seems like she cares a lot and she's happy to be there. And if she's not happy to be there, she's putting on a good front because her smile, it just seems very sincere to me. So I'm a big fan of hers. And I hope that she gets everything that she's worked hard for. Okay. Mikey, we have WWE versus AEW thing going. NXT has Tiffany Stratton and AEW has Mariah May, almost copy of each other. And that's true. I mean, I hear what you're saying, buddy, but I'd say this. I mean, look, um, it's kind of like if you're a buxom blonde in pro wrestling, you're going to look like these other buxom blondes. I mean, that's basically like saying, who's carrying Cross's lady, Scarlett Bordeaux, right? I mean, if you look at her, she looks like Sable from 25 years ago. So my point is that how many variations of a theme can you have with the buxom blonde? So Tiffany Stratton and Mariah May, throw Sable in the mix. I mean, back in the day, you had things, or not things, but people like Missy Hyatt and Sunshine. They were both blondes, but they had a different type of sensibility. I mean, if you really want to see people give a lot of credit to Sonny, to the Tammy Fitch, who's now in jail, but take a look at Missy Hyatt. I mean, Missy Hyatt was doing all this stuff before any of these women. Yeah, I mean, look, they're both gorgeous blonde women with you know, good facial features with cheekbones and stuff. So, um, yeah, she's really pretty, and like I said, I mean, the smile thing, you can't really. It's not just a physical beauty thing. You can't fake looking like you're happy to be there. And yeah, I've said that, buddy. Scarlett Sable-esque. Yes, she looks like she's Sable's daughter, quite frankly. Frank, have you seen Brock Lesnar's? I don't want to pick on her, but Brock Lesnar's daughter, she does look a lot like Brock. So I'm not. I guess Sable's not the mom to Brock Lesnar's daughter, who's doing quite well with athletics. WWE is much better than Vince without Vince. CM Punk was right with Pipe Bomb. We have more tag teams and faction and women wrestlers in the company. Yeah, I hear you, buddy. I mean, look, you know, the Pipe Bomb. I mean, how long ago was that? 2011, the summer of 2011. It's 2024 now, so almost 13 full years ago. You know, and look, Vince. I mean, let's just put it this way: Vince is how old now? In the mid 70s, and we've been kind of bitching about WWE since the PG era. So Vince would have been in his late 50s, early 60s at least. So would you want to have like a Vince McMahon, like let's say put this way, would you want a guy in his 60s or 70s running a rock and roll station or a music club? You know, and look, we all have an expiration date, right? There's some things that I would want an older person on. Like if I was looking for fatherly advice about a topic, I might ask an older guy. Or if I was going to go see a mechanic, I would probably prefer the 40 to 50-year-old mechanic over the 17-year-old mechanic. Just saying, there's some things you want that expertise and that experience, and there's some things you want someone who's a little more hip and trendy. Paul Heyman, for instance, in ECW back in that era, Paul Heyman was maybe 40 years old when he was running ECW in 95, 96, and that's just about the right age to be doing something like that. Yeah, I mean, Charlotte has her moments. I mean, I remember 5, 6 years ago, Charlotte Flair looked like she was having a lot of surgeries. I mean, I don't know if you remember that, but there was a thing where Charlotte was injured. She came back after a while. She looked like she had gone under the knife and so forth. Let me know how this audio is, guys. I guess my audio is okay if you're hearing everything I'm saying, but let me know if the audio sounds a bit rough to you tonight. I've been wondering about my headset lately. Not that I stay up at night wondering about my headset, but maybe I do. Those dads, Ric Flair, Brock Lesnar's, they've got some potent DNA. Even their daughters strongly resemble their dads. Genetics is crazy. Yeah, I hear you, man. I definitely hear you. I mean, the Brock daughter, like I said, I'm not here to pick on anybody as far as their looks or anything, but it is crazy that Brock's daughter looks just like Brock. Thanks, buddy. I'm glad to hear that the sound is good. If there's any other real quick wrestling topics, I want to wrap this up in about 5 minutes, guys. But give me some more wrestling things I can say for you. Like I said about this stuff, all I would say, AJ, to answer your initial request, they're young people, they're young, attractive people. They're going to fuck. They're going to pass each other around. I've been to these NXT shows. I've seen the wrestlers come and go. I'm just guessing. Look, you have however many people are in the performance center, 50, 60, 100, and there's so many women wrestlers now. And you would think that if you're a male wrestler, who else would you have something in common with if you're heterosexual than a woman wrestler? So you can't really blame them for pairing off like this, and maybe not even why discourage it? I mean, who else are they going to be with? Sasha Mercedes, yeah, this was interesting because a lot of people, for those that are just listening, Chungus Khan has asked Sasha Banks slash Mercedes Moné any idea where she might end up. Well, I mean, I think it all comes down to this: it's WWE or AEW or nothing. I don't think we would see her. Not to put them down, but unless Billy Corgan really pulled a rabbit out of his ass, you're not going to see her in Billy Corgan's NWA. You're not going to see her in Impact Wrestling, although Naomi went there. But I think Sasha slash Mercedes, It's either eight. But remember, she showed up for the All In show in the UK last year. Remember, in the summer of 2023, she was in the audience. Now she had like I believe it was an ankle or a leg injury of some kind, a knee injury. So she did not appear in the ring, but she was shown in the audience. So I mean, I think our basic choice one and one A is AEW or WWE. If I had to guess, buddy, I'm kind of leaning towards WWE to tell you the truth, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was AEW. Uh, and I can see it going either way. I mean, I think one thing that people may not be taking under consideration is both companies, both AEW and WWE, have more than enough talent. I think AEW just got Deanna Perrazzo. I keep not saying her name right, but she's quite the little tomato now, isn't she? So where was she before that? She was with Impact. Deanna Perrazzo. She's quite good. I mean, I think that I mean, but Serena Deeb is quite good. You know what I mean? Like Serena Deeb, I thought for sure was going to have a title run because that whole professor of wrestling thing, she was doing great. And I thought Serena Deeb, the virtuosa, thanks Chungus. Yeah, she's very good. But like I said, Serena Deeb's very good. And it's just there's an abundance of talent these days. And I guess you give credit to things like the NXT Performance Center and credit to other groups like MLW. I mean, a lot of people look over MLW, but I mean, I think that that's where MGF really got going. A guy like LA Knight got going in a couple of different places, but I think in TNA and NWA, he got, when I say got going, means got over to a bigger extent. Um, I think it was called the Renegade Sisters or the Renegade Twins. I saw them win the NWA Tag Team title at a pay-per-view. It's too bad because I was really into the NWA for a while and I've really fallen out of it pretty quickly. But I mean, it was just February of 2023 that I went to the pay-per-view in Tampa. I can't believe it's been almost a year since I saw that show. And they had this blonde women's tag team, pretty brutal or not pretty wonderful, but it was two blonde girls that were a tag team. I'm trying to remember their names, the pretty girls or whatever the hell. Pretty nasty or pretty vicious. Two blonde girls, very attractive, very cute in their own way. And one of them is now, I think, beat Camille somehow because now she seems to be the champion. And Camille is rumored to be going to the WWE. So all types of things are happening, guys. Yeah, Eli Drake. Yeah, Eli Drake and NWA. I mean, he always had these mic skills. No, buddy, it was a couple of blonde girls. God in heaven. I'm just, like I said, guys, I'm kind of tired, but NWA Women's Champion. She's, but I thought it says, God, I don't even know. Kenzie Page. Kenzie Page is the NWA. Kenzie Page defeated Camille. Kenzie Page is very small, but she's very good. And I don't want to get my stories mixed up, but was Kenzie Page the one that had some pretty empowered as the tag team? And there was three of them apparently, Ella Envy and Kylie Page. When I saw them, it was only two. So it's Kenzie Page, and they're kind of to me. I like them, because they feel like they're cute, they're attractive. They're not like your typical Barbie doll wrestlers, though. Meaning that they're not like Sable and Tori Wilson. I don't know how else to say it, but Envy and Page, under the name of Pretty Empowered, uh, I think they're very good. And there you go. So I guess there's three of these ladies now, and so on and so forth. Pretty Empowered is the tag team. Kenzie Page defeated Camille. If you look her up, you'll see who I'm talking about. And I think it was, if I could, I don't want to misquote this, so I'm going to look it up real quick, guys, because this is kind of one of those serious topics. I don't. That's why I didn't make a bunch of things about the Jericho situation because if I don't know what happened, then why would I put some stuff out there? And our buddy there, Sean's World, recently tried to put some dirt on Shawn Michaels from these accusations by Brutus Beefcake, and I didn't appreciate that because he has no evidence. And so whenever you just say, "Well, I'm just reporting what I heard," you're also contributing to the accusation, which people don't have the intelligence to realize, or they don't have the integrity to realize. If something hasn't been sustained or hasn't been taken to court, and you're just sharing the information from an unreliable source, you're contributing to the besmirchment of someone else's reputation. But people aren't intelligent enough, Chungus, to realize that type of thing. Uh, so it was Holly Crawwell that I'm thinking of, and I don't know if that's the same person as Kenzie Page, and in fact, it's not. So who I'm thinking of is two different stories here, two different people. So maybe I'll just shut the fuck up right now. But apparently, I'm not sure if this woman's still wrestling or not. Sorcerers of the Black Moon, Holly Crawwell. So all these situations, guys, and like I said, I don't know. I mean, a lot of these things are not very pleasant to talk about. And it's kind of one of those things where you do want to empower those that have been victimized, of course, but at the same time, do you want to besmirch somebody's reputation without proof of guilt? And I think our society at large has gone in the direction of guilty until proven innocent. But crazy me, I still believe in innocent until proven guilty. And, you know, there you have it. So, anyway, folks. Well, gentlemen, Chungus, and so forth. If you guys haven't seen the movie yet, I would recommend it. The movie The Iron Claw. I have no financial profit from that movie, except I have seen it twice now. And if you dig around this channel, One Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan YouTube channel, and if you dig around One Mike Messier, where my Mike's Instant Movie Reviews, some of you guys are saying, "Gee whiz, Mike, you don't do your angry wrestling rants anymore or as often." Well, I've kind of put that energy, Chungus, into the movie reviews. So if you go over to One Mike Messier YouTube channel, the movie reviews, as the kids say, are fire. I would obviously recommend my take on The Flash from last summer, but I just had a one that's a lot of swearing, a lot of anger from my video from last night from the movie Some Other Woman. I describe a horrible situation I experienced online, off on a tangent. Yeah, see, that's the thing, buddy. I mean, exactly. I'm just going to let Chungus's words stand there because not to say that someone who's taking medication can't be trusted or reliable, but a month ago, everyone was saying how great Chris Jericho was because he donates all this money whenever a wrestler dies or something. Jericho's always contributing to the funeral or paying for the funeral. But, somebody retweets or this, what's the guy's name? Ryan Houseman. I mean, I watched his video. It seems like he thinks he knows something, this Houseman guy, but there was about 200 subscribers on his YouTube channel, right? That I saw. So, I mean, Nick Hausman. So I mean, he looks like he's a 30-year-old guy who watches wrestling, and that's fine. But what exactly does he know? And if basically he's doing one of those gimmicks where, well, it's not my place to say what happened, but dot dot dot. I wish somebody else would say something. Well, then let them say something. You know what I mean? But if you're just gonna throw these cryptic, vague messages out there, I'm not saying something didn't happen. I'm not saying it did, but just the hints and allegations are really enough these days. I did not hear about this, buddy. I did not hear about this situation. Um, I know that I did experience a fake, a scam artist who was using the Shaul Guerrero name. It wasn't the actual Shaul Guerrero. It was well, boy, well, gee whiz. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I really don't know, and I'm not trying to duck the topic, except maybe I am because, like I said, just if there's a story here, there's a story, and anyone who breaks the law should be fully prosecuted. So I don't know. I mean, I do know that supposedly Jericho's a happily married man, although that's usually an oxymoron from the people that I know that are married. They're never happy, or not very often. Ooh. Well, I don't remember the situation. I'm assuming this wasn't this past year, buddy. Chungus is discussing a potential violent uh, attack. Well, I missed it. I missed this whole deal. So you are telling me stuff that I didn't know about, which I appreciate, but now I have to go down this goddamn rabbit hole. I thought I was getting out of here, buddy. So, boy, which is really a shame if you think about it, because Jericho and Eddie Guerrero were often tag team partners or opponents. Um, God. So now I have to look this whole fucking thing up. So when was this, buddy? I just found something. It's a Reddit thread. Great. 9 months ago. Okay. Well, very interesting, buddy. Okay. Oh, yes, Vicky's current husband, right? But I did a video about this. But where is the stuff with the cruise? Was this supposedly taking place on the cruise? I did an entire video about this, buddy. Um, I did a video about this, about the accusations, and it's a sad story, but I don't remember how Jericho was involved in it. I did a video on that topic of the Guerrero daughter. Yeah. So I'm happy to, but I really just it seemed like it kind of, not to say the issue didn't blow over for the people involved, but did this situation happen on the Jericho cruise? Is that what you're asserting? Because I did not know that. I'm not doubting you. I just did not know. So, in any event, like I said, and I'm not trying to throw this shit under the rug, but we've learned with these pro wrestlers, whether it's through this situation that you're describing now for the last year or so, or going back 20 years ago to the plane ride from hell, or going back to Harley Race. There's a story where someone did Harley Race kill somebody? Like the Harley Race beat up some guy on the side of the road or something. Um, okay, so that's the story. Um, and then all the Ric Flair stuff. It's just, and others and others and others. I mean, the Jimmy Snuka situation. I mean, how deep do we go with this stuff, guys? You know what I mean? The basic story is, I guess I will say this. I think a lot of times wrestling fans want to think that the wrestlers are good people, and why wouldn't you? You're putting your money into these people's pockets, you're cheering for them, you're putting them on a pedestal. The reality is the wrestlers aren't always good people, and maybe the business that they're in um, doesn't allow them or encourage them to be good people. I don't know. Um, but just the nature of the beast, that they're in a business which is basically at its core, although everyone knows the deal by now, but it's a charade. It's a facsimile of violence, or a facsimile of an athletic competition when it's not. So by the definition of their work, they are pretending to be something they're not and do something they're not, as in actual fighters. So they're kind of always acting. And so when they get into these oddball situations, or when their view on humanity, I mean, wrestlers always think everything's a work. When that Will Smith, Chris Rock thing happened, all the wrestling people, Eric Bischoff and everyone else, thought it was all a big joke and a charade. And to me, it's like, okay, well, where's the motivation? What's the motivation of Will Smith to slap Chris Rock? Who does that benefit? It doesn't benefit anyone. So my point is, these wrestlers always think everything's a work, because they're always working everybody, because their business, their industry, their career is based on lies. They think that everyone else is a liar, right? So anyway, I'm not sure what tangent I'm on now, but basically, we put these wrestlers on a fucking pedestal, we as the fans, yet do they deserve to be on this pedestal? I mean, I think it was Charles Barkley who said, I am not a role model. Well, I mean, some of these wrestlers are not role models, yet we make action figures for them and we put them on all these t-shirts and stuff. So, I don't know. Acting like they're innocent when a Kylie Ray or Vicky's daughter allegedly turns down their advances, they're in the business of lying and acting right. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, they are in the business of lies and stuff, and I'm not trying to justify their behavior. I'm just saying, why are we surprised? Why are we surprised when the wrestlers get into these situations or they put themselves in these situations, they get themselves into the situations? We shouldn't be surprised, yet the wrestling fans often act like they can't believe it when a wrestler cheats on his wife, or when someone makes a comment that it looks like this wrestler is advancing on this other person in the wrestling industry, and someone will say, well, but that guy's married. Yeah, yeah. They're wrestlers, you know what I mean? So I mean, I think what happens is that the fans want to put their middle class suburban morality onto the wrestlers, but the wrestlers don't live by that suburban middle class code. They live by the wrestler code, which is take, 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 and so forth. And yes, they give back with their injuries and their blood and so forth. But if you've ever hung out with these wrestlers, they're not the ones picking up the bill for lunch or dinner, okay? Hang out with a wrestler and see who pays the bill. You are. Like the band Rammstein coming under fire for sexual assault. These celebs let their pop star status go to their heads. Yeah, I mean, there's a feeling of what's the word? Uh, Begins with an N. Entitlement. Entitlement. They feel entitled to do what they want. They feel empowered in a bad way to do what they want, like a bad version of empowered. They feel entitled. So what can you do? I mean, obviously it's up to the fans to kind of realize this, and that's when the wrestling fans get all hot and bothered when the wrestlers do something that's a little bit or a lot out of their moral uh, lane. Uh, I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? I'm not shitting on all wrestlers all the time, but I don't put them on the paradigm of virtue scale very high. You know what I mean? Um, they're people who make a living through a facsimile of violence, and they're carnies, and that's fine. I enjoy watching it. You know what I mean? I enjoy being a part of it. I'm going to the shows, but I'm not expecting these people to be a moral indicator of where I should be. You know what I mean? I'm my own moral indicator. They should be looking to me for morality lessons. Okay, that's the reality of the situation. So what can you do? You know what I mean? If you think that Lex Luger is actually body slamming Yokozuna because he loves the United States so much, what can I tell you? You know what I mean? Look, Vince McMahon 20 years ago, the couple of days after 9/11, was on SmackDown doing a great stirring speech, USA, USA. And then 22 or 23 years later, he's literally bending the knee, or figuratively bending the knee to the Saudi Arabian Sports Authority. Although he probably did bend the knee in reality too. And he's got the Undertaker there right with him. And they're just saying how great Saudi Arabia is. And this is the country that executed more of its own citizens than any other country. I think in one day, I think it was 73 or 74 people they beheaded. And they're going to say how great this country is because they're getting the money. So all our favorite wrestlers who go over there and wrestle at these Saudi Arabia shows, they're taking their big paychecks from a country that basically beheads their own citizens. And they make a big deal that they let women drive now. Well, that's a good step. But the women that protested to get the right to drive in Saudi Arabia, the ones that actually led those protests and led that movement to get the women the right to drive, they go to prison. And as far as I know, they're still in prison. So there you have it, folks. Those are your heroes. So when people getting all hot and bothered about who is fucking who on the NXT roster, I'm sure plenty of them are fucking plenty of them. I'm sure that if Braun Breaker and Cora Jade are done fucking each other this week, they'll both be fucking somebody else next week. It doesn't really affect me one way or fucking another. No offense. Yeah, it's a place that I'm. Look, here's the thing, Chungus. USA, America is not perfect, but I'm staying here. I mean, when I read these reports of other countries, I just got into this whole Amanda Knox case that I really do nothing about. I listened to her audiobook and I watched a little 45-minute video about it. But Amanda Knox was in Italy and she basically got railroaded for a murder charge and so on and so forth. So I have no big desire to go touring to other countries just to play my chances with their rules and regulations. And you know what I mean? So I mean, look, I mean, maybe that's the ugly American in me or whatnot, or the ignorant American, and that's fine. But in these post-pandemic days, do you really need to travel around the world to enjoy your life? Maybe. I don't. Anyway, folks, that's about it. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope that I've cured cancer and solved all your issues for you. I do my best. I am, like I said, I am a bit tired. I'm tired. Ooh, go, go. I'm a little bit sleepy. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's not something that I need. Thanks, Chungus. And like I said, guys, if you don't mind, go over to one Mike Messier. If you could do me a favor, gentlemen, if you don't mind, share these videos, especially the good ones. I don't know if this one's that good, but I do think that some of my recent movie reviews have been pretty spirited. So if you have friends that kind of like the macabre or they like someone who's angry, like I said, my video from Some Other Woman review. If you have wrestling fans that also like movies, I think I've done 3 Von Erich videos now. There's also talks of a very special Iron Claw related video coming up. I don't want to give away the full details because I will after it happens, but I don't want to jinx it. But thanks for tuning in, guys. And like I said, copy and paste these URLs. And if you have other topics or if you're watching on the replay, leave a comment in the comment section and I will address the concerns. Okay, gentlemen, have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time.